Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, I'll be walking through the finale portion of the Cluckin Bell raid. And if you're saying to yourself, what, another Cluckin Bell video? Yes, another clickety-clackety Cluckin Bell video. And if you're getting sick of all these Cluckin Bell videos, my apologies, I promise. With a walkthrough of today's video, I'll have one final video coming out where I'll be going over the remaining setups and then just some lessons learned. Which, by the way, there's been a lot of great, very helpful tips that people have been commenting on along the way. So my hope is to touch on these as well, but that's for the next video. Right now, let's dive into the finale portion of this raid. Okay, so similar to my other videos, I'll be placing a timer in the lower right of the screen. I'm doing this for any of you out there on newer consoles who are completing the career progress. One of the goals is completing the raid and all the setups in under 45 minutes, so I wanted to capture this just to show you how quickly you can get this done. The other thing I want to mention is I'll be continuing to pause at certain points throughout this video. I want to take this slow and make sure I'm capturing all the important tips. I'm doing this so you hopefully won't have to do a lot of pausing and rewinding. Alright, so after the beginning cutscene ends, you'll be climbing out of your wooden crate. For the finale and all the setups, I'm doing these sneaky stealthy. But having said that, you don't want to have your stealthy mode selected. You're going to want to be running around here, and having stealthy mode selected is just going to slow you down. And no, if you follow what I'm doing here, you're not going to get detected. Also, I'm using the weapons gained from option B, not A. I'll get to this a little later, but even though option A is the quicker mission, it's not going to be ideal when it comes to this finale. Okay, as soon as the cutscene is over, you'll want to headshot the guard standing on the far dock. Do not worry about the other two guards that are to the right of you. You don't need to waste time killing them, and they aren't going to be alerted. You want to run all the way to the end and open the big door by shooting the electrical panel that's on the wall. You're not going to be able to leave until the door fully opens, and you want to wait until the guard that walks back and forth comes all the way to the end of the hall and then stops. From here, just run out and quickly pistol whip him and then turn to face down the hall. Now it's just a bunch of headshots. You'll need to take out the guard closest to you first, then turn to take out the other two guards. Make sure to take out the guard in the white coveralls first. Trust me. Next, you'll want to run down the hall and stop at this pallet of boxes here. From here, you're just going to work clockwise. Headshot the guard on the phone first, then take out the two guards at the end of the hall. You'll have to run ahead a little in order to take out the last guard on your right. Once done, continue running all the way to the end of the hall to the door. This is where you'll be using your keycard. If you're on a PS5 controller, just keep smashing the right arrow button because you need to do this twice. Once to initiate and the other to actually open the door. Once inside, head down the stairs and turn right towards the guard. Just quickly pistol whip him and then move towards the first closest table, Coco. There's two other Cluckin Bell employees down here who I like to call Dumb and Dumber. Don't worry, they're not going to be alerted. The guard behind me actually turns and looks directly at me, but does nothing. As soon as you have all the snow on the one table, you can turn around, pistol whip Mr. Dumb, and then grab the Coco on this table. And side note, after this raid, you're going to want to call Mr. Pavel and tell him he's shopping for the wrong freaking duffel bags. You'll know what I mean once you see how much loot this bag holds. Okay, so as you can see, Mr. Dumber, who's in the back corner, is completely unaware. I'm not sure what he's been inhaling, but it can't be good. He just stands there and appears to be mumbling to himself. He'll sometimes wave his hands a little and touch something on the table, but yeah, Mr. Dumber is definitely not one of Cluckin Bell's top employees. All you need to do at this point is continue grabbing the 4 stashes of nose candy and then leave. You don't need to do anything to Mr. Dumber. Just leave him alone. I kind of feel sorry for him, actually. This guy works in a chicken factory all day, cutting up dust and wearing silly overalls. No wonder he talks to himself. Anyway, back to the mission. As soon as you've grabbed the last stash of Coco, I would strongly suggest reloading your gun. As with the other missions, you don't want to be doing this while the guard is standing in front of you shooting. From here, just run up the stairs and exit. Again, by pressing the right arrow button if you're using a PS5 controller. Once back in the hall, turn right and run through the 2 doors. Immediately take out the guard that'll be in front of you and then turn left and head for the big garage door. You want to go to the keypad first and gain access before turning and then moving towards the big door to open it. Again, you'll need to keep tapping the arrow button to do this. Once inside, you don't need to move at all. Just headshot the guard to the right first, then the guard to the left. From here, run to the far back corner. You need to grab the crowbar, which will be sitting on top of the last crate on the left. Once you get close, you'll automatically grab it and it'll disappear. Next, you want to open the crate that's immediately to the left. this will always be the location of your first stash of cocoa. The second location, which you'll be running to, will always be in one of two areas. The first area, as you're seeing here, will be the crate that's by the cleaning cart. If this crate wasn't here, there would be another crate directly opposite to where we're standing now, right here. If there was a crate here, this would be the second area for the cocoa. But because there's no crate here, we'll be heading to the crate by the cleaning cart. Once you've collected the last bag of cocoa, you're done. Simply run back to the big garage door and leave. As soon as you leave, and depending on how fast you collected the cocoa, there'll be a guard either standing near the far wall or beginning to walk away from the far wall. Just headshot him and head for this area. You need to locate keys for the office, and they'll spawn in one of two locations. Either here on this cart or on another cart, which I'll show you in a moment. Once you have the keys, turn right and head around the corner to the computer room area. There'll only be one guard in this area, and he may be stopped or walking. Just headshot him either way and continue on towards the far wall. I want to point out that if you didn't find the office keys in the location I just did, they'll be sitting on this cart right here. What you want to do is head for the corner of the far wall and then turn your back and then hide. You'll need to take out the guard around the corner, and I find this is the quickest way to headshot him rather than just running and aiming. But maybe that's just me. After you take out that guard, there'll only be two remaining. Again, depending on how quick you've been so far, both of the remaining guards should be standing near the office. Headshot both, doesn't matter which one first, and then head for the office. When you get to the office, there'll be a small cutscene of you hacking the computer. When done, you'll have to use this hacking device that looks like a metal detector to identify the safe code. You'll need to go back to the computer room where we were just in. This is the only part of the finale I truly hate. I find it's very finicky. Here's what's going on. In the computer room, there's 4 computer stations. You'll need to find a signal from 3 of the 4. If you're pointed in the direction of the correct computer station, you'll see a green signal on the detector. It gets stronger the closer you are. If there's no signal at all, it's the wrong station. And the part I hate the most is that there's 2 stations that are in the back of the room, and they're relatively close to each other. So if you're looking in this direction from a distance, you'll see a signal, but it's kind of a crapshoot to which one is the one you need to go to. And traveling to each one requires you to run around a bunch of boxes and a conveyor. So it's kind of a pain in the arse. Okay, so after you've collected the 3 signals, you need to run back to the office. After Vincent tells you this, you can view the safe code on the detector. Just memorize 3 numbers and then begin opening the safe. Your final take will be the cash in the safe. Once you've collected this, you'll need to equip your gun again. Just leave the office, turn right, head for the big garage door, and then after shooting the electrical panel that's on the wall, the door opens and you can make your getaway. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the #1 reason why I chose the weapons from option B. Every time I tried leaving the factory with the weapons from option A, I was detected right away. And it made things really, really messy. For the getaway anyway. Now, I'm not sure if this is just a glitch or a console-specific issue or whatever, but if anyone else knows, by all means, leave a comment below and let us know. But for me, I would recommend option B weapons just for the fact you're not going to get detected. Alright, so once you leave, just follow my path. Run behind the truck and position your back against the wall to take out the first guard. Run behind the truck and then take out the next guard by the second truck. From here, run towards the corner of the building and headshot the guard by the dumpster. Continue running towards the garage and take out the guard by the door. And here's where I made a little mistake. I shoot the next guard right here way too early. He's at the far end, and if he's dead in this location, his body will be detected while I'm in the garage. If you want to stay completely stealth, just wait until this guard walks towards you a bit, but honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter if you get detected. It'll be fine. You'll be in your getaway car, and the cops are going to be alerted anyway. Okay, so once outside, turn right and head through the small opening in the fence and down the railway tracks. While you're driving, bring up the menu for your personal vehicle. You'll see why here in a moment. As soon as you get past the buildings on your right, you'll see a lone police officer standing to the left of the tracks. I always just run him over, but again, it's not necessary. He's not going to do much damage, and the cops, by this time, they're probably alerted anyway. Now, you want to pay attention here. I've done a bunch of these and determined the exact location that A, you can call for your personal vehicle, and B, that has a road nearby that you can actually spawn it on. You need to be on the lookout for this white shed area located here. This is where you'll be switching your vehicle. As soon as you get close, just pull off the road. but be careful because there's a big ditch just before this area you don't want to drive into. Once alongside the shed, select the option to spawn your vehicle, get out, and make sure you're facing the mountains. Again, this is Rockstar logic because they never spawn the vehicle in the area you're looking at, and you want it spawned behind you on the road. Once it spawns, just climb in and leave. Now, you're probably thinking, why not use the Hakuchu drag bike? Well, you're right, you should. In fact, my suggestion at this point, if you don't have the Hakuchu drag bike, is to use any bike. It'll be far easier and most likely it'll be faster. I'm using the Vigilante because it's what I recommended at the very beginning, and I wanted to show you all that yes, it can be done with the Vigilante. Now, using this car can be a little bit of a struggle when driving on the train tracks. My only words of wisdom here is to go as fast as you can, but make sure to slow down when you get to the bridges. You'll see here in a moment that it gets quite touchy when trying to navigate across some of these bridges. You're also going to notice that I'm not worried about losing the cops. My goal is trying to get back to Vincent's hideout as fast as possible, and doing this will have me traveling across some of the more, let's say, off the beaten path locations, which will ultimately help me lose the wanted level. So yeah, I'm not worried about the cops, and you shouldn't either at this point. Now I'm just going to let this play through while the timer runs, and I'll jump back in during one of the Vigilante-specific routes I would recommend. Okay, so as you saw, it can get a little squirrely when trying to cross the bridges in the Vigilante. But just take your time and you should be fine. When you get to this point, leave the tracks and head for the main road. Again, don't worry about the cops. At the Y in the road, which I believe is the Route 68 approach, you want to turn right. You want to drive until you see the big tree on the left, and as soon as you pass it, make another left. From here, you want to sneak by the white building by traveling to the left of it. Just try not to hit the telephone pole like I'm doing, and keep going straight across the road to the larger hill. Keep traveling on top of this hill towards the other large hill, and then you want to aim for the lightly colored ditch area, which I'll show you here in a moment. Okay, so when you get here, you can see a small valley that runs down the hill, and it's a lighter color than the surrounding grassy areas. This is where you need to aim. When you get to the top of this area, hit your boost and enjoy the ride. This should land you across the valley or near the next larger hill. You can save a little time by doing this. From here, just head up over the hill and then reconnect with whatever road you're closer to, and then continue following the GPS. It's around here that you should begin noticing your wanted level diminish, and eventually just disappear. And that's it. Just continue following the route to Vincent's and you're done. Again, having a bike in this situation would probably be ideal, but it's not necessary. If you're using the Vigilante, you can still do this in a decent time. Just be mindful of this road leading back because, as we all know, it gets kind of windy on the downhill side. Again, I'll let this play through and then I'll come back at the end for some final thoughts. And there you have it, the Cluckin Bell finale in all of its splendid glory in under 11 minutes. With a Vigilante, I might add. So, as promised, I'll be putting together one final video on the Cluckin Bell to go over the remaining setups and then some final lessons learned along the way. Many of which have come from you, so I want to thank all of you for commenting on better, faster ways to complete these missions. You're just helping more and more of us along the way, so yeah, that's awesome. Keep those comments coming. Alright, so that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and want to help out, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. Do you perform the Cluckin Bell finale like I do? And if not, do you have any additional tips and tricks you'd like to add? If so, drop a comment below and let everyone know. Until next time, be happy, be well, be safe, and mighty be the one. Oh, Maestro.